In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of Holy Spirit, one God. Amen. You made it this far because I have been guiding your every step. This isn't by accident, luck, or coincidence. This is the very moment I have prepared for you, a moment planned before the world even began. I have set this time, sealed this message, and opened this spiritual door to speak directly to your heart. I know the struggles you face, the silent tears you've cried, and the sleepless nights filled with worry. I've seen you count every penny, trying to make ends meet while feeling the weight of so many needs. I know the times you felt unheard, and that is exactly why I am here now. Today, I am declaring an economic miracle over your life. This isn't a vague promise, but a real, tangible blessing that has already been sent from heaven with your name on it. It's been written in the eternal books, and it is now drawing closer to you. I didn't just watch your pain. I turned it into seeds that are now growing into abundance. Every tear, every prayer hath been gathered, and now the harvest is coming. As you hear these words, the atmosphere around you is already shifting. You can feel deep inside that something is happening. This is not just an emotional moment. It's my spirit confirming that this message is real and powerful. This is not just about money, but about a whole new season. A season of peace, trust, and rest where lack will no longer define you. You will no longer live merely to survive, but as an heir to my promises. I didn't create you to walk in shame, but to reflect my glory in abundance. Today marks the end of your struggle and the beginning of multiplication. Understand that nothing about this moment is ordinary. Every word spoken to you is a command, and every phrase is a spiritual key to unlock your breakthrough. Do not overlook this moment. Do not treat it like any other video. This is a sacred promise between heaven and your life. I am here drawing near to you to tell you that I have sent an economic miracle. I have already set in motion the angels who will bring your provision. I have touched the hearts of people who will become instruments of favor in your life. I have already changed situations that will open doors you couldn't open on your own. But now I am asking for your faith. I need to see your response right now. So in the comments with all your heart write, I receive what heaven has already decreed for me. This isn't just a comment. It is a powerful act of faith. When you write, heaven records it. When you speak, the angels move. By taking this step, you show that you believe, and I will respond to the faith that is shown in your actions. Do not let doubt steal this moment. Do not let fear stop you. Declare with confidence, and you will see how powerful it truly is. I want you to experience a transformation not only in your surroundings, but also in your heart. As you write, feel how the weight of lack lifts, how anxiety releases, and how hope begins to grow. This moment is chosen for you. By setting this meeting, I am making it clear. You haven't come too late. You haven't missed your chance, and you haven't been forgotten. The time you thought was lost was only preparing you for this day, and this day will be marked as the turning point in your life. From now on, everything will change. Take a deep breath and receive the certainty in your heart that the economic miracle you've been waiting for is already on its way. This is not about waiting years, and it's not about struggling alone. This is the exact moment, the appointed time, the season that has been decreed. As you read and respond, heaven is already moving, and nothing can stop what I have already planned. So respond now and mark this moment with your faith. I am the Lord who brings his promises to pass. When you speak with confidence, you seal what heaven has already released. Do not hold back or do not doubt. Declare boldly and watch as the supernatural unfolds in your life. Do not close this video. I have prepared this word for you, and every moment of it is part of an uninterrupted plan. If you are here, it is because I have chosen this moment to align your life with my purpose. There are things that can only be revealed when you choose to stay. That is why I say with certainty, stay until the end, because the revelation that will change your life will come at the perfect time. If you give up halfway, you will miss the key that opens the door you've been waiting for. Many begin listening, but few stay to the end. Many receive the promise, but don't stand firm until the end. That is why I urge you not to disconnect with each word. I am building something new in your spirit, breaking old chains and preparing the ground for the miracle I've already sent. Stopping now is like leaving the harvest in the field after planting. You've waited too long to turn back. The more connected you stay, the closer the manifestation of your miracle will be. In the next few moments, I will reveal a key that will change your financial life, a key that the world cannot give, because it is not from men. It is mine, but I can only give it to those who endure until the end. So I urge you again, do not close this video. Do not let distractions take away what heaven is already delivering to you. The enemy will always try to interrupt when something great is about to happen. But I have already won for you. I just need you to stay until the end. It's no accident that you're here. You could have ignored this. You could have passed it by, but you chose to stay. And that decision is the key that opens the doors. Your decision to stay is a clear sign to me that you are ready to receive. What I am about to release is far greater than anything you've imagined, greater than your expectations, calculations, or understanding. I am the God who surprises, the God who multiplies, and the God who changes lives in an instant. You can't yet imagine how close it is. What once seemed far away is now within your grasp. I have already sent it. It is already in motion. In the next few moments, I will open your eyes to see what you couldn't see before, to understand what was once beyond you, and to receive what you could never have achieved on your own. This is the moment where waiting turns into fulfillment. So I say to you, stay. Do not let doubt, exhaustion, where distractions pull you away. The revelation I bring is like a seed full of life. It must be fully planned in for it to bear fruit. If you only take part of it, you will only see part of the harvest. But if you stay until the end, you will experience an abundant harvest. I have prepared this moment for you. This is not by chance. And this is not just another fragment of time. It is a decree, a seal, a living promise being fulfilled right now. When I say I have already sent an economic miracle, I mean it is already written, authorized, and released into your life. But I need you to stay with me until the end to receive the full instructions on how to live it out. So mark this moment with your faith. Share this word now, because by sharing you become a channel of blessing for someone else, and what you give will return to you multiplied. Don't keep what came from heaven for yourself. Be an instrument for others to receive it too. As you spread this word, you will see how my favor multiplies in your own life. I am the Lord who speaks and fulfills through decrees and establishes. A word that comes from my mouth returns empty. Every declaration you hear carries the power to create, transform, and open what was once closed. I don't speak just to fill the silence. I speak because today I have decided to change your story. When I speak, heaven moves. The angels are sent to carry out my will, and nothing can stop what I have already commanded. So receive this truth in your heart. The economic miracle for you has already been declared. It's not a vague promise or a comforting speech. It's a decree already signed before my throne. Your name is written on this eternal document. Your need has been recorded, and your response has already been released. No human power, no earthly system, no spiritual barrier can stop what I have sent. What once was lag will become abundance. What once was shame will turn into testimony. What once was a burden will now be your victory. As you listen, something invisible is already at work. Resources that seemed impossible to access are aligning. Ideas that were blocked are now coming forth. People you never expected are being moved to favor you. Situations that once resisted are now yielding to my command. When I say enough, the struggle is over. When I declare change, everything must obey. Do not let doubt distract you. Do not think that this word is just another message. I do not send random words. I send specific decrees meant for you. This word is personal. It is for you. And from the moment you open this video, a seal was placed on your life. Every second you spend here strengthens this covenant between us. You are not here for entertainment. You are at an altar where I am confirming my promise to you. I know how many times you thought there was no way forward. I know how many times you felt like change would never come. But now I tell you, the cycle of scarcity has come to an end. I close it myself, and I am leading you into a new season, a season of abundance, open doors, and visible victory. You will not be remembered for your deaths, but for how you overcame. You will not be defined by the struggle, but by the victory that I have brought into your life. I want you to realize that this is not just the start of an improvement, but the beginning of a whole new phase in your life. This is not a temporary fix, but a permanent change. You are being spiritually moved to a level of provision that does not depend on salaries, connections, or human efforts. You will be sustained by my faithfulness, held up by my hand, and surrounded by my favor. So don't just accept this in silence. Respond with faith. Your visible response is proof that you believe in what is unseen. Subscribe to this channel and like this video as an act of prophecy, because every small action done with faith is a key that speeds up what has already started. Don't treat it as a simple gesture. See it as a sign of trust. Each time you respond to my voice, something shifts in the heavens. Every time you take a stand, the promise gets closer. I love when my children not only listen but also engage. When they turn their faith into action, showing that they believe in what I have already set in motion. Today you have the chance to make this moment meaningful with your decision. Do not stay passive. Don't treat this like just another video. Let your response become an altar of faith. Every click you make in faith is a seed that I will cause to grow. I am faithful to multiply every seed sown. Stand up within yourself and take your place as an heir. You are not a beggar. You are my child. You are not forgotten. You are remembered. You are not outside my plan. You are a part of it. So claim your promise now. The decree has already been made. The miracle has already been sent, and the answer is already on its way. All that's left is for you to align with faith and remain steadfast until the end. As you declare your faith through your actions, remember this: I am closer to you than you think. My presence is surrounding you now, confirming each word I have spoken. Heaven has already acknowledged it, and soon the earth will witness it. This is the beginning of something extraordinary. I know the marks that lack has left in your life. I have seen every moment when you counted your last coins, trying to make them stretch just enough. I have seen you sit there staring at the bills scattered before you, feeling the weight of your heart as you wondered how you would pay them. I have seen the nights when, even though you were exhausted, sleep wouldn't come because thoughts of tomorrow kept you awake. I was there when the worry overwhelmed you, when it seemed like your hard work was not enough. I was there when you reached out in prayer, wondering if anyone was listening. I heard every word, even the silent ones you whispered to yourself. No tear of yours was wasted. Each one was collected by me as a witness to your faith, even when it seemed small and fragile. You have grown used to living with the fear that you might not have enough. You've learned to live as if something was always missing, as if abundance was meant for others, but not for you. You convinced yourself that you would have to keep going on your own, surviving with the little you had, not knowing how much longer you could manage. But I want you to know, I have seen everything. I know everything, and I have never been far. While you cried in silence, I held you close. When the anxiety felt too heavy, I supported you so you wouldn't fall. When you thought you couldn't keep going, it was my hand that gave you strength to get through another day. Even though you didn't feel it, I was right beside you, taking care of you, even when there were no answers in sight. I saw the times you sacrificed things for yourself and for your loved ones. I saw your frustration when you couldn't give them what you wanted to. I saw the shame when you had to explain why you couldn't do more. I saw the pain of comparing yourself to others who seemed to be doing better while you felt stuck. That comparison hurt because it made you feel left behind, forgotten, were incapable. But I want you to understand, it wasn't forgetfulness, it wasn't delay, it was preparation. Scarcity is not who you are, It is not your identity, nor is it your forever. Scarcity was just a temporary situation, a lesson, a time of growth is not your end. I did not write your story for it to finish in lack. I did not raise you to survive by counting pennies. I created you to live as my child, to inherit abundance and to witness my provision. I know that the time of scarcity felt endless. I know you thought about giving up, and there were moments when you felt like the heavens were closed, but I tell you, that season is now over. I am closing this chapter of your life myself. All the tears you shed, the struggles you faced, and the long days of waiting, these are now seeds that will grow into abundance. You will no longer live in fear of not having enough. You will no longer wonder if you will ever achieve anything. You will no longer feel the shame of thinking you can't succeed. I am changing your reality. And this change begins now inside of you. Before I open doors in your life, I am opening the door of your heart so that you know with certainty that I am your provider. Before I change your circumstances, I am changing your mindset so you understand that you will never lack. Listen to my voice. You were not made to live in scarcity. I did not call you to fear tomorrow. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are seen. You are remembered and you are loved. And because I love you, I declare that the cycle of scarcity ends today. Just as the sun breaks the darkness at dawn, abundance will break through the weight of your waiting. From now on, you must carry this certainty within you. Scarcity is no longer your companion. I am your source. I am your provision. I am the one who is never late and never fails. While you were counting the little you had, I was already preparing the much that was coming your way. While you counted your coins, I was already aligning your treasures. While you feared emptiness, I was already filling you with abundance. Take a deep breath and accept this truth. The time of scarcity is over. The page has turned. This chapter has ended. What once seemed impossible will now bloom into a garden. What once felt like failure will now become a testimony. What once caused you shame will now bring you honor. For I am the Lord who changes the seasons. And today I decree a new season in your life. I am telling you clearly, today marks the start of a new chapter. The time of surviving with just enough is over. The time of watching others prosper while you barely hold on is over. And now I declare unexpected abundance over you. Divine provision and economic miracles that defy all logic. This will not just be a temporary relief, but a continuous overflow. It will not just be enough to get by. It will be more than enough, because I am the God who creates abundance where there was nothing before. I am the one who multiplied loaves and fishes in the face of hunger. I am the one who turned the widow's last bit of oil into an endless supply. I am the one who brought water from rocks in the desert and sent manna from heaven to feed my people. And today I declare that the same power that worked in those times is now moving in your life. You will see what little you have in your hands become much in mine. You will see doors that were once closed open without explanation. You will see resources appear from places you never expected, because I have already sent the miracle that bears your name. I know that your mind struggles to understand. I know that your logic tries to tell you that it's impossible. But what I do doesn't depend on your logic. It depends on your faith. It's not about your effort. It's not about your abilities. It's about my power. When you believe, you activate principles that move both heaven and earth. When you choose to trust, even when you can't see the outcome, you give me permission to release what I've already prepared for you. That's why I want you to take a step of faith right now. I want you to show in the visible what you believe in the invisible. I want you to boldly declare without fear or doubt that you receive the abundance I have already set in motion. The number I have chosen as a prophetic sign is 777. This number represents fullness, perfection, and confirmation. It is the symbol of the abundance I am releasing over you. By writing this number, you are declaring that you believe the cycle of scarcity has ended and that a time of plenty has begun. Do not underestimate this act. The enemy will try to make you believe it is just a simple gesture, but before my throne, it is recorded forever. Every time you respond with faith, the angels move quicker. Every time you declare, chains are broken. Every time you obey, the heavens open wider. So right now in the comments 777, as a prophetic sign that you receive and believe in the abundance already at work in your life. This as a covenant, as a public declaration, and as a seed of faith. By writing, you awaken the spiritual world. By writing, doors are opened. By declaring, the atmosphere around you changes. I do not work passively. I respond to faith that shows itself in action. I am multiplying what seems small. I am magnifying what appeared insignificant. I am turning the page in your financial life and starting a chapter of honor. You will not be known for your scarcity, but for your abundance. You will not be remembered for your debts, but for your testimonies. You will not be marked by your struggles, but by your victories. Today I raise you up as a living example that my power does not fail, that my hand will never withdraw, and that my faithfulness will never abandon those who trust in me. From this moment on, declare boldly and do not be ashamed to show your faith. Many will not understand, but heaven will. Many will doubt, but I will confirm. And when abundance arrives, you will know that this simple act with the key that opened the door, nothing can stop what I have already released. No delay, no resistance, no opposing force can undo the decree I have signed over your life. Today I give you this mandate. Believe, declare, and respond. Your faith will be a testimony. Your faith will be a record. Your faith will be the bridge that connects you to the miracle that is already on its way. So do not stop. Declare now. This is your day of activation. This is your time of abundance. This is your moment to see the promise come true. I am the God who multiplies, and nothing that you place in my hand stays the same. What may seem small in the eyes of people when given to me turns into abundance. What appears to be insufficient when dedicated to me becomes a never-ending source. I have done this before, and I am doing it again in your life right now. The little you have saved with tears, prayers, and quiet faith is now a seed planted before my throne, and every seed placed in my presence grows and multiplies. I am the one who took 5 loaves and 2 fish and fed thousands. I am the one who filled the widow's jars with oil until there were no more jars left. I am the one who sent manna from heaven, enough to meet every need, and showed that when my people obeyed, there could be even more. Everything I touch grows, everything I bless multiplies, and the same power of multiplication is now upon you. I don't just want you to have enough to cover your bills or clear your debts. I want you to live in a flow of abundance that overflows into every area of your life. I want the provision I give to be more than enough for you so that you can become a blessing to others. The multiplication I release today is not just for you alone. It is for everyone connected to you. What I send to you will reach your home, your family, and even people you have not yet met. I bless you so that you can bless others. I multiply in you so that you may multiply in others. Divine connections are already being released. Unexpected people will help open doors for you. New ideas will come to your mind, unlocking growth. Opportunities that were once hidden will now appear, answering your prayers. These connections, ideas, and doors are not random. They are part of the miracle I have already set in motion. Every detail has been planned by me. Every meeting had been arranged, and every opportunity has been placed in your path. Do not overlook what little you have in your hands. Give it to me. Dedicate it to me, because I turn the little into much. I multiply what is simple and make it great. I breathe life into the seeds and they turn into fields full of abundance. So it will be in your life. What seems small today will one day become a testimony of great abundance. What is only a beginning now will be remembered as the foundation of a powerful harvest. But understand, multiplication requires action. I want you to actively take part in what I am doing. Do not keep to yourself what I give you. By giving, sharing, and releasing, you join in the flow of multiplication. In my kingdom, nothing that is kept holds growth, but everything that is given multiplies. The more you share, the more I place in your hands, The more you give, the more I will send. This is the eternal law of multiplication that I am activating in your life right now. That's why I say to you, share this message now. By passing it on to others, you become part of the multiplication already set in motion in heaven and in your life. Don't keep this word to yourself. Take it to others as a channel of blessing. Every person who receives it will be touched by the same anointing. And each time you share it, you open the door for me to pour even more into your life. Do not be afraid of losing. No one loses by sharing in my name. On the contrary, they always gain. What you give will multiply. What you give with faith will be returned in abundance. This promise has stood since the beginning of time, and I continue to fulfill it in you now. Sharing this message is a prophetic act, a seed planted in good soil, a declaration that you believe abundance has already arrived. I am the Lord who multiplies. When you hear my voice today, remember this. The time of lack is over. The time of abundance has come. Multiplication will mark your life, but one little will become mud, and what was with mud will revolt. This will happen because I have already determined it. I have already signed it, and I have already sent it. I know that sometimes you wonder if I truly sent this miracle, if I will truly keep my promises to you. That's why I have set clear signs to confirm my word. I am a God of details, and I never leave my children without direction. I want you to recognize the changes that are already taking place in your life. The first sign you will notice is peace. Not just any peace, but a supernatural peace that will surround you, even when your circumstances haven't yet changed. You will feel calm in the middle of the struggle. You will feel rest where there was once worry. You will feel certain even when the bills don't add up. This peace will not come from logic, from your situation, or from your own efforts. It will come from me as a mark of my presence. It will be the first confirmation that I am already at work, and the economic miracle has already left heaven and is heading toward your home. The second sign will be an idea, a thought, or an inspiration that you cannot ignore. It won't be like the usual passing thoughts you have, but something that stays in your heart. It will be simple, yet full of purpose. This inspiration will be key. It will give you guidance and strategy, helping to open doors that once seemed closed. The message begins by declaring that the period of financial hardship and scarcity in your life is coming to an end. Expresses the idea that what you have endured was never meant to last forever, and that the season of barely surviving is being replaced by a new season of provision. This shift is described not as a distant dream, but as something already active, already unfolding, and already moving toward you. You are invited to see this moment as the turning point, where lack no longer defines your identity or your future. It affirms that God Himself is the one closing the door on scarcity. According to the message, this change is not based on your strength or your resources, but on a divine decision to intervene. Even the struggles you face, the nights of worry, the fear of not having enough, are presented as seeds planted for a harvest of abundance. In this view, your past pain becomes the foundation for future blessing, and the hardships you experienced become the soil from which provision grows. The idea of abundance is not portrayed as merely having enough, but as having more than enough. It suggests that God intends to give you a level of provision that exceeds your expectations, allowing you to move beyond survival mode. Instead of living with uncertainty, you are shown a future where peace replaces anxiety and confidence replaces fear. This abundance is described as continuous, overflowing, and not dependent on human logic or limited by earthly circumstances. The message also emphasizes that this new season is personal. It is not a general declaration over the world, but a specific decree said to be written with your name on it. The idea is that God has intentionally chosen this moment in your life to release provision and change your financial situation. You are encouraged to see yourself as remembered, chosen, and favored, not overlooked or forgotten. This personal promise reinforces the idea that your breakthrough has purpose and timing. Finally, the promise of provision is described as something divinely orchestrated, not random. It assures you that doors will open, resources will align, and opportunities will appear because God has already set them in motion. The transformation begins within, replacing the mindset of scarcity with the confidence of provision, and then extends outward into your circumstances. In this way, the message frames abundance as both a spiritual shift and a practical change, marking the complete end of a long season of lack. The message paints a really tender picture of how deeply God has been aware of everything you've been going through. It says that not a single moment of your pain has gone unnoticed. Not one tear, one fear, or one night of worrying alone. Even in the moments when you felt invisible or unheard, the message insists that God was right there, paying attention to the smallest details of your struggle. It's trying to reassure you that you were never as alone as you felt. It also speaks to the emotional weight you've carried, those times you counted coins, stared at bills, or pushed through your day while feeling like you were sinking. The message recognizes those experiences as real and heavy, not something you imagined or exaggerated. It acknowledges the exhaustion, the fear, and the frustration that come with those private battles, and instead of dismissing them, it frames them as moments God was especially close to you, even when you couldn't sense it. There's this idea that while you were wrestling with uncertainty, God was silently supporting you so you wouldn't collapse. When your strength felt gone, He was the one that kept you going. The message really leans into the idea that unseen help was holding you up when life felt overwhelming. Even when you questioned if heaven was listening, the message assures you that every whispered prayer, even the ones you barely dared to say, was heard with full attention. Another important part of this key point is the reassurance that your hardships never meant you were forgotten. Instead, the message frames them as something like a dark season, not a final definition of your life. You weren't abandoned or ignored. You were being held, guided, and prepared. What looked like silence wasn't rejection, but the quiet part of a process bigger than what you could see. It's sort of saying, just because I was quiet doesn't mean I wasn't there. And lastly, the message tries to heal that deep fear that you're somehow less worthy than others who seem to have more. It pushes back against the idea that abundance belongs to everyone except you. Instead, it emphasizes that God saw every sacrifice, every moment you put others first, and every private disappointment you carried alone. The message wants you to know that being seen, fully, deeply, and compassionately, is part of the reason the promise of abundance is being released now. It shifts the story from feeling forgotten to being remembered in the most personal, intimate way. The message explains that every struggle you faced was fully seen, even when you felt invisible or unheard. Your quiet pain, the tears you cried in private, and the moments when you held everything together without anyone noticing are presented as deeply known. It assures you that nothing you endured was overlooked, and that your suffering was never dismissed as small or insignificant. Instead, each moment mattered and was carried with tenderness. It emphasizes that God was near you even when you felt alone. In the moments when you wondered if anyone understood what you were going through, the message insists that God was closer than you realized. Every worry, every fear about the future, and every moment when you felt the weight of life pressing on you was witnessed with compassion. Your loneliness was never actually loneliness. You were surrounded even when you didn't feel it. The message also highlights that your hidden sacrifices were seen clearly. Times when you set aside your own needs to take care of others, when you gave even from your lack, when you pushed yourself beyond your limits. None of this went unnoticed. What you considered ordinary or necessary, God considered acts of courage and love. Your efforts, even the smallest ones, are described as precious and meaningful. It addresses the shame and comparisons you carried in silence. When you looked at others and felt behind, the message declares that God never saw you as failing or forgotten. It reframes your delays not as neglect, but as preparation, forming resilience and depth within you. Your struggles weren't signs of abandonment, but stepping stones meant to shape you for something greater. Finally, it reassures you that being seen means being understood and remembered. The message insists that your story was never neglected or paused, it was unfolding with intention. God didn't just observe your pain, He held you through it, strengthening you when you lacked strength of your own. This intimate awareness becomes the foundation for the promise that what comes next will restore everything scarcity once took. The message declares that the miracle you need is not a future hope, but something already activated on your behalf. It speaks as though the answer left heaven before you even knew what to pray for, meaning the breakthrough is already moving toward you. This gives the impression that the shift isn't theoretical. It's happening in real time, beneath the surface of what you can see. Even if your circumstances haven't visibly changed yet, the message claims the process has begun. It describes divine intervention as a coordinated movement. According to the message, God has already aligned people, opportunities, and resources specifically for your situation. Doors that once seemed sealed shut are being prepared to open, and people who can help you are being stirred to act. Nothing about this unfolding is random. It's portrayed as intentional, precise, and timed perfectly. The miracle is framed as something larger than your own efforts. You aren't expected to create the breakthrough by yourself or force opportunities to appear. Instead, you are invited to trust that what is happening is beyond human strength or planning. This removes the pressure from you and places the weight of the outcome on divine power, not personal ability or resources. It encourages you to see that progress doesn't always begin with visible change. Before circumstances shift, something internal shifts first. Your peace, your hope, your confidence. This inner confirmation becomes the first evidence that the miracle is already in motion. The message suggests that if you pay attention, you'll sense this quiet transformation before anything outward becomes obvious. Finally, it portrays the miracle as unstoppable. No resistance, delay, or obstacle is strong enough to prevent what has already been released. Once the command has been given, everything in your life begins to rearrange itself in response. Even situations that once resisted you are now described as yielding. The message assures you that the momentum has already begun, and nothing can reverse what has been set in motion. The message repeatedly emphasizes that faith is not just an inner belief, but something that must be shown through visible actions. It suggests that taking spiritual or symbolic steps, such as declaring belief or responding in some form, activates the divine promises already set in motion. Faith, therefore, becomes a bridge between what is promised and what becomes reality. This perspective portrays faith as dynamic rather than passive. It encourages you to express your belief openly, not quietly or hesitantly. According to the message, visible actions demonstrate confidence in God's promises and signal spiritual readiness to receive blessings. This idea reinforces the belief that spiritual breakthroughs respond to intentional steps taken in trust. The message portrays every act of faith as powerful and meaningful. The concept of faith requiring action is used to motivate engagement and participation. Instead of waiting silently for change, you are encouraged to take steps that match your belief in the miracle already underway. This frames your involvement as essential, not because God needs proof, but because your actions strengthen your own spiritual alignment. Action becomes a sign that your heart agrees with what you are hoping for. The message also teaches that doubt can delay what faith accelerates. It suggests that choosing to respond boldly demonstrates that you value the word being spoken over your life. In this way, your actions become declarations that you trust in a future you cannot see yet. This shapes your mindset toward expectation instead of fear, which is presented as necessary for receiving abundance. Ultimately, the idea is that God responds to active faith, not because the actions themselves have power, but because they reflect a deep internal trust. When you act on faith, The message implies that it opens spiritual doors, breaks limiting mindsets, and invites divine movement. This transforms faith from an abstract concept into a practice that influences how blessings unfold in your life. The message conveys that you are not just meant to receive abundance, but to participate in a flow of blessing. By sharing the message with others, you become part of the process of multiplication. This idea suggests that generosity, whether through words, encouragement, or action, creates a spiritual exchange where what you give returns to you in greater measure. It also emphasizes that staying connected is a sign of perseverance. Remaining engaged, paying attention, and staying present demonstrate commitment and faith. In this view, endurance is deeply valued because it reflects trust, even when circumstances are slow to change. Staying connected becomes a form of spiritual discipline and alignment. The message suggests that multiplication is a divine principle. What is shared grows, what is given increases. By sharing hope, encouragement, or blessings, you activate the flow of abundance in your own life. This creates a sense of community, where your actions not only help you, but also uplift others who may be facing similar struggles. Additionally, this key point teaches that blessing is not meant to be kept to yourself. Just as you receive, you are encouraged to give, allowing provision to ripple outward. This transforms abundance from a private experience into something that touches families, communities, and even strangers. You become a vessel that carries blessing beyond your own household. Ultimately, the message uses this key point to show that abundance is not a closed circle, but an expanding one. As you stay engaged and share what you receive, you open the door to continued increase in your own life. The act of giving becomes a powerful declaration that you live with confidence, gratitude, and expectation for even more. The heart of this entire message is an invitation to step out of fear and step into hope. It reminds you that your struggles have not been ignored, your prayers have not been forgotten, and your journey has not been unseen. What once felt like delay or silence is reframed as preparation for a new season, one marked by provision, clarity, and transformation. You are encouraged to release the weight of scarcity and welcome a mindset rooted in trust, abundance, and renewal. The message calls you to respond with faith, not as a ritual, but as a way of aligning your heart with the change already unfolding in your life. It highlights that the shift begins inside you, with peace, with confidence, and with the belief that something better is already on its way. You are reminded that every step of trust, every moment of surrender, and every act of faith becomes part of the breakthrough ahead. Ultimately, this is a moment meant to strengthen your spirit and renew your hope. It affirms that you are not alone, that your story is not finished, and that the season you are entering is different from the one you are leaving behind. As you carry these words forward, you are encouraged to remain grounded in faith, open to new opportunities, and confident in the path unfolding before you. This conclusion marks not just the end of a message, but the beginning of a new chapter, one defined by peace, purpose, and abundance.